Hey guys, Will from EDM Tips. Today I'm going to show you how to make music in the style of Monolink, and this is what we're going to make. So Monolink makes fantastically rich, deep electronic music, often incorporating vocals and guitar and bass guitar as well. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do at least today. And as usual, you can download this project file, all the samples and presets completely free. And if you dig, smash like, subscribe to my channel, and without further ado, let's hop into the door and get it done. So first thing we need to do is put a tempo in. I'm going to make this a bit more of a low slung track. So I'm going to change this to 112 BPM. And we need to name this bad boy. What should we call this? Monolink. Let's call this multi-break. That's a pretty good name, isn't it? Yeah. Now, first thing we're going to do is get a bass sound. Now, I find that the Ableton basses aren't great when it comes to finding realistic bass sounds. So I am actually going to use Contact for this, but don't worry, if you don't have Contact, I'm going to freeze this track for the project file when you download it. So yeah, you'll have all the sounds. Now, Rickenbacker bass is really good, actually. So I'm going to use that and just jam in some funky bass line. And it sounds really cool, this bass. Nice. It's like the Formula One music. Okay, so I'm going to just program this bass line in. So let's just work it out first. That sounds pretty cool. So the first note's a B. Now I think it sounds like it's in B minor. So what you can do in most DAWs nowadays is press a scale button. You can just choose the scale you're working on in. And you can see here it's only showing up the notes from within that scale, which makes it super easy. In Ableton, you can press the scale button. So I know if I hit any of these notes, it's going to sound good. Let's put a metronome on. Make it a bit longer, that note. Bum, bum, bum. And it's all happening on the 16ths here. So you don't need to be going as high resolution as 30 seconds. 16ths will give you all that groove that you need. Cool. Let's just duplicate that pattern and then change the notes of it. You can hear it sounds a bit kind of slow. So what you can do, and the reason is because that pluck at the beginning of the bass it takes a bit of time before the actual note hits because of the string sound. So what I'm going to do is open up this delay button there, and I'm just going to dial it back a few milliseconds, which should synchronize this bass up. It kind of adds some latency to the whole project and allows this bass to be pushed slightly over. It's kind of like the manual equivalent. It's kind of like doing this, dragging the whole thing over a tiny bit. But we're not going to do that. We'll just use this delay thing because it's much easier. Nice, funky as hell. Okay, let's put a kick drum in there as well. Keep things simple. We'll use a 4/4 kick drum. So I'm going to go to my favorites and choose a kick drum. I think that deep one sounds quite good. We want something that doesn't sound too overbearing. So let's just program that in every beat. Like so. And now we have got our kick and our bass. And I'm turning it down to make sure we don't have any clipping on the master channel because we don't want that. No one wants that. Next thing we're going to do is create some really interesting wide drums in classic Monolink style. So I'm going to use several drums together and then pan them left and right. And that's going to give some interesting stereo width. So I'll go to the EDM Tips Creative Toolkit, which you can download below this video. And I'm going to load in a couple of claps and just pan them left and right. I'm going to keep one slot open for a main snare. And we're going to get a couple of finger snaps as well. these two. Now what we're going to do is go to where you would usually put the snare, which would be here, like so. But what we're going to do is pan the, kind of smear these out before and after, so nothing's really happening quite on the actual beat. And it's going to give it a really kind of low slung feel and quite a human feel, because they're all playing at a slightly different time. So let's duplicate those like so, and then we are going to pan them left and right. We might need to tweak the volumes as well. Yeah, it's all a bit loud at the moment. Let's just take them all down by about -6. Again, lots of headroom. And I'm going to switch to mono, which I've got a mono switch on the master channel with a keyboard shortcut just to turn it onto mono. And that's going to make judging the relative levels of these drums a bit easier. Because, you know, when it's really wide, it can be a bit hard to work out the levels. Although this one's really loud. It sounds a bit too loud. That sounds a bit better. And now let's get a main snare that's going to underpin this. I'm going to go to my other snare samples. What's that? Phone going off? Go away, phone. I like that because it's quite a realistic sounding snare. So let's program that in. And that's going to be the real underpinning power of this. And I want to tighten that up a bit. So I'm going to tweak the decay and the release. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these claps and snares together, claps and snaps rather, and I want to apply a little bit of reverb to all of them. Okay, there we go. And the way I've done that is actually by routing one of these auxiliary channel reverbs to the drum bus by opening up this button here. And then this R button, and then you can right click, choose create return chain, and then you can just choose a drop down menu to choose room reverb. Lovely jubbly. Okay, let's close it up, and that's all done. So next on my magic list is a guitar. Now I don't have a guitar with me, I can't even play the guitar, but we know what the key of the track is in, so I'm going to use Loopcloud to find a guitar loop that's going to work over the top of this. So let's create a MIDI track. Load in Loopcloud, so it's going to be synchronized to our project. And let's open the app and search for a guitar loop. So we go guitar. Okay, it's a minor chord, a minor key, sorry, B minor in fact, as we know. And we want it to be a loop, not just a one hit. So let's just preview some of these and see how we get on. I'll turn it down so it kind of fits in with the rest of the mix. And it's just about finding the right vibe for what you're looking for. Oh, I like that. Yeah, so I'm going to have that. I'm going to drag that in. Whoops. I'd need to drag that onto an audio track, of course, because it's an audio sample. So let's do that. Cool. Now I'm going to make sure I've got Complex Pro selected. Otherwise the you know, if you've got beat selected as the algorithm, the warping algorithm, it can sound a bit glitchy. Okay, cool. What I'm going to do with this bass is actually add a sidechain compressor just to help it duck in time with the kick. And this is a bit of a different style from usual, guys, as you know, and you can check out the other videos around here. I'm going to put a link there. But if you're enjoying this, let me know. Give me an amen, brother, or a hell yeah if you're digging this bass line. Satan wants his bass line back, but he can't have it because I've taken it and I've put it in this track. Bad luck, S-boy. Okay, so now we're going to take the input to that sidechain compressor from my sidechain channel. All that is a simple sample with a short tick that I've set to sends only, so we'll never actually hear it. And that is because now all the control on the sidechain compressor is going to control the length of that ducking effect. So if we listen to the bass line without it, and with it, so it just gels together with that kick drum a bit more. Let's call this pump compressor. There we go. We might even add a tiny bit of that effect on the guitar as well, just to help that sit in the mix a little bit better. Let's turn it down a bit. Too much though. Bit of reverb on the snare. Bit loud. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. So now let's add some reverb to this guitar. And you can either use the same reverb as we have for the drums or create a secondary reverb that's got its own settings. So let's try that. Bit more atmosphere. I think these drums are a little bit wide actually, so I'm going to bring them in a little bit more. Okay, next thing we need is, boom, a vocal. Again, I'm going to use Loopcloud for this because I'm not about to sing. I'm just simply not prepared to sing. So I'm just going to find something that suits the vibe that I'm going for by opening up Loopcloud, which you can get a free trial on if you use the link below. And then if you continue, it does give me a bit of a kickback. So if you want to help support the channel, that's the way you can do it. And Loopcloud is just a really good tool anyway. So what we're going to do is, instead of guitar, we are just going to go vocal. And I want a male vocal on this. So I'm going to go instruments, male vocal. There we go. And let's see what we got. Make sure we're searching through the entire store. Well, we can get rid of this one now. And let's play it and preview some as we go. All right, mate, calm down. That's cool. That's nice as well. Much better than your last attempt. Nice voice, mate. Okay, I'm really enjoying this bloke's voice actually. I'm going to click into the sample pack itself and make sure I've chose B minor again and just have a listen to some more of them. I want something that's got a really cool, yeah, that syncopated. Yeah, I'll buy that. It's just downloading, then I can drag it in.
I can feel the way you want to do.
Yes.
I feel that groove that moves in you. I can feel the way you want to do. I feel that groove that moves in you.
Yeah, okay, let's get this sitting in the mix a bit more. Let's have a listen to his voice on its own.
I can feel the way you want to do.
It's already been compressed.
I feel that groove that moves in you.
So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of reverb on there, I think, and some delay. I could use the same reverb. Let's see how that sounds. No, I'm going to get our own reverb for the vocals because it's a really important thing. Let's put an echo on there and a reverb, actually.
I can feel the way you want to do. I feel that groove that moves in you. I can feel the way you want to do. I feel that groove that moves in you.
And now let's add a little bit of reverb on there. I'm going to use this hybrid reverb, actually. That's got some cool sounds in it. So let's just look through a couple of the presets. So, reverb. Let's go special and see what that comes up with.
I can feel the way you want to do. I feel that groove that moves in you.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's take out the low end, make sure that we don't have anything
I can
too...
feel the way you want to do.
Yeah, it's already pretty clean.
I feel that groove that moves in you. I can feel the way you want to do.
Too bright there.
I feel that groove that moves in you. I can feel the way you want to do. I feel that groove that moves in you. I can feel the way you want to do. I feel that groove that moves in you.
Okay, that's cool. Next thing we want to do is create a Monolink style synth that's going to go really well with this. I'm going to do this from scratch, so let's just color this, the color of vocals, like so, keeping things organized. Then we are going to cover this like guitar. I like to color my acoustic instruments light blue. And let's just, we don't really need Loopcloud now. Oh no, there is something I want to add actually. I want to add a bit of kind of glitchy percussion, because that's a Monolink thing as well. And then we're going to do that synth in a second. So let's open up Loopcloud again, like so. And well, let's play it. Then I'm going to go glitch. And then okay, let's have a look for some instruments. I want a loop. Okay, let's search for loops. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll have that. So that's just a really subtle way to add extra kind of depth to your drums. So these are our drums now. Might be a bit over the top with those kind of deep sounds. with the bass line.
I can feel the way you want to do.
I'm actually going to use one more effect on this vocal. It's a really good effect. It's not with Ableton, it's actually the CLA vocals plugin from Waves, and it just sounds good even if you just stick it on.
I can feel the way you want to do. Want to feel that groove that moves in you. I can feel the way you want to do.
Nice. So now let's create this Monolink style synth. And the way we're going to do that is use a wavetable. We'll just start with a blank preset, like so. Just add a bit of release. And all we're going to do is add some bit crushing with the Redux and Ableton, and it's going to turn it into a gnarly ass synth. And we can add some reverb to that, of course. Doesn't take much to make a cool sounding synth if you kind of know what you're looking for, and the most important thing is the wave, then the ADSR controls to control the shape of it, and then we're just adding this Redux, which is kind of distorting it really. So let's work out something that's going to work well with this.
I can feel the way you want to do.
And again, you can choose scale, B minor, because we know that's what scale the track is in, and then press scale. And then you've basically got a template to use.
I can feel the way. I can feel the way. I can feel the way. I can feel the way you want. I can feel the way you want to do. I can feel the way you want to do. I can feel the way you want to do. Want to feel that.
And then we're going to repeat the same pattern but change the notes.
I can feel the way you want to do. Want to feel that.
I don't know how this is going to sound.
Want to do. Want to feel that groove that moves you.
That's cool, I like it.
I can feel the way you want to do.
Not sure about the vocals now.
Feel that groove that moves you. I can feel the way you want to do. Want to feel that groove that moves you. I can feel the way you want to do.
So it's just a bit of a funky loop, but the last thing I want to add, actually there's two things I want to add, okay? I'm going to add some programmed in white noise rhythm, which is a nice way to add some Monolink type extra texture, because there's so much texture going on in his tracks, so much nuance. So we're going to choose a white noise patch, which I made here, which you can get if you download this project as well. Turn the reverb down, the release down, and I'm just going to program in some little kind of rhythm. It doesn't matter which note you choose because white noise is the same on any note. And then again, working on those 16ths. But what I'm going to do is make them a bit shorter to make it a bit more staccato. Okay, probably this. Let's just duplicate that and switch it up a bit the second time it plays through. Okay, so that is our rhythm. We're just going to duplicate it, take out the low end. And then what I'm going to do to make this a bit more interesting is add some auto pan and just have it panning left and right all the time. So let's have a listen to it.
I can feel the way you want to do. That groove that moves you. I can feel the way you want to do.
Again, it just adds that little extra texture and nuance. And what if you want, I hear you ask, an arpeggio, which Monolink likes as well? Well, I'll tell you what, well, let's make one. Let's do that. Again, I'm going to use a wavetable, and I think I might just stick to a sine wave for the time being. It's all about the notes really, and how it adds to the track, adds to the groove. But I'm going to make this like a polyrhythmic syncopated one, which I will explain in a second. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate it. Like that. So I'm going to duplicate it so it's playing a regular rhythm, but that is out of sync with the track. And I'll give you an example, and that's a syncopated polyrhythm. So if we get this, you know, it's regular, but then with the kick drum as well, it's like it just really keeps things flowing along. And so let's change some of these top notes. Just to add a little bit of interest, or I might swap that round to there and this one up to there. So it keeps the same pattern. Yeah, that's cool. Just add some reverb. I know it's only a loop, but it's kind of cool. And then it's a case of arranging that, adding in your verses, your choruses, and yeah, taking it out into a full track. But in terms of coming up with an idea that makes you groove, that to me is a nice idea that takes elements from Monolink style. Obviously, there's a lot more work to be done on this to take it up to that kind of level. And then we go on to the mixing stage and finally the mastering as well. Anyway, I hope you've learned some new techniques today and that you've enjoyed it. And don't forget, like, share and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video. And don't forget, you can download the project file, all the samples, completely free. And let me know, who do you want me to cover in this channel? What styles do you want me to cover? I read all the comments and I love to know what you guys want me to cover. So please do let me know. Thank you for watching, and until next time, cheers and happy producing.